all these pictures, and I think this is extraordinary. She has censored the royal family from it. It's as if the royal family weren't there. The best man, William, has become the invisible man. He's not in any of Meghan's pictures, nor is Catherine, the Princess of Wales, nor is the late Queen Elizabeth or the late Prince Philip.
Imagine your husband's entire family vanishing from your wedding album. Not one candid shot of his father walking you down the aisle. Not a single frame of his brother standing beside him as best man. His grandmother, the Queen of England, at the last wedding she would ever attend for her grandson, erased like she was never even in the building. Now, imagine posting that curated, sanitized, family-scrubbed version of the happiest day of your life to millions of followers on your 8th wedding anniversary and calling it love. That is not a memory, that is a message. And millions of people saw it for exactly what it was. This is the CelebTea Files, and if you are new here, we don't just cover the drama, we expose what the headlines are hiding. Hit subscribe right now, because what Meghan Markle just did with this photo dump is not nostalgic. It is nuclear, and the fallout reveals far more about her current state of mind than any carefully worded PR statement ever could. Here is the visual that has been living in my head since these pictures dropped. Imagine the most ornate, gilded, ancient chapel in England, St. George's Chapel at Windsor. Thousands of flowers, a choir echoing off stone walls that have witnessed royal weddings for centuries. In the original reality, the front pews were filled with the most famous family on earth. The Queen, Prince Philip, the now King and Queen, William and Catherine, and a galaxy of A-list celebrities. Now picture Meghan at a computer 5,200 miles away in Montecito, her cursor hovering over each of their faces. Click, delete, click, delete. The best man becomes the invisible man. The Princess of Wales, her hated rival, lifted out of history with one keystroke. The late Queen Elizabeth, who bent over backwards to welcome a divorced American actress into a 1,000-year-old institution, digitally disposed of. The final album wasn't a wedding album, it was a crime scene cleanup.
Position you were in that day, and you got your dream wedding at Windsor at St. George's Chapel because of these same people you've alienated over the last few years. Do you think 20 years ago a son of a future king could marry a divorced American?
But here is what nobody is talking about. This is not the first time she has erased a wedding.
I guess. I mean, let's be honest. Meghan wouldn't allow cell phones or photos taken at her wedding to Trevor Engelson. And when her dad showed up with his camcorder,
her first husband,
her first husband, with his camcorder, with his camera, so proud to celebrate the wedding he helped pay for in Jamaica. Meghan made him go through those videos and photos. And
before there was a prince, there was a producer named Trevor Engelson, her first husband, who by multiple accounts was so proud on their wedding day in Jamaica, a wedding he helped pay for, that he walked around with a camcorder documenting every smile, every dance, every kiss. And according to reports, Meghan made him go through those videos and photos afterward and delete them. She wanted no proof that day ever happened. If you were Trevor's family, if you were Trevor himself, what goes through your mind when the woman you just married demands you destroy the evidence of your own wedding? Why so early in a marriage would someone be that secretive about what is supposed to be the most important day of your lives? The question answers itself when you realize this is a pattern. This is not a coincidence. This is what she does. She rewrites history. She rewrites history. She rewrites history. The irony here is so thick you could cut it with a knife. This is a woman who has spent the last 4 years telling anyone who will listen that she was silenced, that she had no voice, that the institution erased her identity. And yet the moment she gets control of the narrative, the moment she holds the delete key, she does the exact thing she accused everyone else of doing. The royal family did not erase her from their history. They are still answering questions about her in every press conference. She is the one who erased them from hers. Do you see the psychological projection happening here? It is so transparent that actual therapists have probably paused the video to take notes. Now let us talk about timing, because timing in these situations is never accidental. The 8th wedding anniversary. Who celebrates the 8th anniversary with a massive, unprecedented photo dump? The 8th anniversary is bronze. It is not 10. It is not 15. It is not 25. Nobody throws a gala for bronze.
Anniversary, congratulations and all that. I believe it's called the bronze wedding anniversary at the 8th, but it's hardly a sort of iconic milestone, is it? So the question has to be, why on the 8th wedding anniversary did she release all of these?
So why now? Well, let me connect a dot that will make everything click for you. Just days before Meghan's surprise anniversary Instagram blitz, Princess Catherine returned from a trip to Italy, where the reception was nothing short of triumphant. The Italians went absolutely wild for her. The headlines were glowing. She was elegant, she was gracious, she was everything the public desperately wants in a future queen.
She is seething with jealousy over Princess Catherine's recent triumphant trip to Italy, where she just garnered fantastic headlines. The Italians loved her, and they went wild about Kate.
And Meghan, sitting in her Montecito mansion watching her sister-in-law soak up all that adoration, did what she always does when the spotlight swings away from her. She manufactured a moment. She needed the headlines back. She needed the attention redirected. And trust me, the next part gets so much worse. Because this was not just about jealousy over a successful royal tour. This was a distraction operation on a much larger scale. You need to understand what is actually happening behind the scenes of the Sussex empire right now, because it is not the picture of success they are painting. Prince Harry is being sued by Sentebale. The Invictus Games, his one undeniable legacy project, is hemorrhaging leadership talent. An attitude reflects leadership, so if top executives are fleeing, what does that tell you about the environment at the very bottom? Boeing, a massive sponsor, has reportedly pulled out entirely. Ask yourself where Meghan's podcast is. What happened to Confessions of a Female Founder? Netflix not only restructured their deal, but canceled Love Meghan outright. As ever, this jam and lifestyle pivot is being met with the kind of collective shrug that is death for a celebrity brand. Every professional venture they have launched is either stalled, canceled, or on life support.
I mean, I always think that that's in the back of her head, but Kev, this has not been a good year for the Sussexes. Prince Harry's been sued by Sentebale. The Invictus Games have lost some incredible leadership recently, and attitude reflects leadership. So if people are falling off, from the top, imagine what's going on at the bottom. Boeing, according to Paula Froelich, has pulled out as a sponsor. That's an incredible, huge sponsor of the Invictus.
So what do you do when your career is in free fall? You distract. You go over the top. You hug children with cancer while simultaneously directing people to an AI shopping app to buy the shirt off your back. You visit victims of a horrific massacre and turn the walk into a modeling catwalk.
I mean, embracing the Bondi Beach victims, buy my outfit.
Yeah,
it's
going to
so
see
vile.
victims of the Bondi Beach.
Outrage is the point. If people are talking about your tastelessness, they are not talking about your failures. Now let us get to the video, because the photos were only half of the assault. She also released a kitchen video. Harry walks in carrying a cake, the kids are squealing in the background. There are penguins involved for some reason.
Our last question for you, Kinsey, it's a very important question. That video that we saw the other day in the kitchen, here's your penguins, and I've got a cake to celebrate our 8th, Harry coming in as a cake. It's our 8th anniversary. 8th anniversary.
Don't forget the singing.
And the entire thing is so aggressively performative that it feels less like a candid family moment and more like a hostage tape directed by a lifestyle influencer. Jan Moore, a brilliant writer for the Daily Mail, described this entire spectacle as emphasizing the vacuum at the heart of their lives. A vacuum. That is the word. Not fullness, not joy, not abundance. A vacuum. The more Meghan tries to convince us her personal paradise is perfect, the more we suspect it is anything but.
It's as if she doesn't trust us to believe that she's happy. And frankly, these public displays of affection that you saw in the video that they posted the other day of Harry bringing in the cake, the anniversary cake, and the penguins and the kids squealing, all seems to be calculated to convince us that this is, her personal paradise is absolutely perfect.
Truly happy couples do not need to advertise their bliss. Truly happy families are not staging their intimacy for public consumption. They are not on Instagram posting private messages from flight attendants congratulating them on their anniversary, which she actually did, as if paid staff complimenting you is proof of a soulmate connection.
It's the mark here. But why does she do it? It's the same reason why she shares a private message from flight attendants congratulating her on her anniversary. it paid people there to serve her. I think it's the same reason why she couldn't fit into the British royal family. A very deep insecurity.
Why does she shove this relationship down our throats? The same reason she could not fit into the British royal family. A very deep, very loud, very obvious insecurity. She knows what everyone is whispering. She knows the rumors are circulating that things are not okay. She knows people are looking at Harry and seeing a man who seems lost, diminished, a little rag doll in her arms as she suction kisses him for the camera. The man who was once the most beloved prince on the planet now looks like a lamb to the slaughter, and the public is not blind to it.
I think she's an insecure person, and that's why she's shoving her relationship down our throats, because she knows people are saying, is everything okay? Man, your life seemed a lot better 7 years ago. I do think that it's ultimately it's insecurity, and she is trying to prove a point, and she is trying to, yeah, you're seeing a lot since Meredith Maines left, one of their communications people.
Yeah.
So here is the ticking clock question that reframes this entire drama as something far bigger than celebrity gossip. At what point does the endless curation of a fake happy ending become more exhausting than simply living an authentic life? The British royal family operates on a simple principle: never complain, never explain. It has worked for centuries. Meghan operates on the complete opposite philosophy: explain everything. Constantly, at high volume, with receipts, with videos, with penguins. And it looks exhausting. It looks messy. It looks a little schizophrenic. And viewers are sitting back and realizing that silence truly does work better in the end than screaming your happiness into the void.
Meghan and Harry are fighting back on headlines constantly, to the point of it looking messy, it looking a little schizophrenic. And you really sitting back and observing why never complain, never explain truly does work.
The hatred of the royal family is spewing out. That is not my interpretation. That is the collective conclusion of millions of people who watched those photos drop and saw not a bride reminiscing, but a woman still fighting a war she claims to have walked away from. If you truly escaped the institution that you say traumatized you, why are you still obsessed with erasing them from your history? Why, on your anniversary, when you should be focused on your husband and your children, are you still trying to wound people an ocean away? The answer is that she never escaped at all. She just moved the battlefield to Instagram. Let that sink in for a moment. She rewrites history. Now, I want to hear from you directly, because this is where the conversation gets really interesting. Do you believe this photo dump was an act of love for Harry, a celebration of 8 years of marriage? Or do you see it as a calculated act of one-sided warfare against a family she knows she can no longer access? And do you think Harry even realizes he is just a prop in a PR strategy designed to keep his wife's name in headlines she is terrified of losing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I read them, and the conversations happening in this community are often sharper and more insightful than anything the mainstream outlets are willing to say out loud. Here is what we know for certain. A woman who was welcomed with open arms by an ancient institution that bent every rule to include her.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the fact that the royal family welcomed her with open arms was a huge, huge deal. And she's trying to pretend as if they are not the reason that she has the platform she has. It's delusional. No one...
An institution that had denied Princess Margaret her own true love decades earlier, a family that walked her down the aisle when her own father was too much of a liability for the brand, has now spent years systematically deleting them from her narrative. And in doing so, she has exposed exactly one thing: not their cruelty, not their racism, not their coldness. She has exposed her own hatred. And hatred, no matter how beautifully you filter it, no matter how many penguins you put in the frame, never looks like love. If you made it to the end of this breakdown, you are someone who sees through the carefully constructed narratives. You understand that the photos we are shown are never the full story. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to understand what is really happening behind this royal feud. And subscribe to the CelebTea files with notifications turned on so you never miss a single breakdown of the biggest celebrity scandals unfolding in real time. The truth is always hiding in plain sight. We just have to be willing to look past the filter.